Mr. Eloy, silicon carbide is still a booming market. So the last big one who steps in was Renesas, and a few days ago Mitsubishi and Nexperia told us that they are working together on silicon carbide in the future. Do you expect other big names stepping in the next future?
Well, silicon carbide is today roughly 5 to 10% of the silicon power device business, and is moving to 30%. So it's a booming market in a market that is already increasing. So yes, we are waiting multiple other companies to come in because the market traction and the need of having a diversified portfolio of products using silicon carbide, but in addition to silicon, is very important for the power device maker. But then the issue is more how to do that, how fast they can go on the market, because silicon carbide is quite different in terms of manufacturing compared to silicon. So more companies will come, yes, but it's really a matter of how fast they can be in production and how they can compete against companies like ST, Infineon, onsemi, Wolfspeed that are already well established.
An additional question. In your presentation, you spoke also about foundries. Do you expect, for example, TSMC in this playing field?
So TSMC is not involved at the moment. I think it's too small in terms of business for them because we are talking about few $10 billion market. So it's significant, but for TSMC it's not big enough. It's more specialized foundries like X-Fab, that kind of companies that could be interested to work on, and they are already doing that. So yes, we're expecting increasing role for the foundries, but it will be more the specialized foundry than the leading players.
So during the last years until now, there's about $40 billion invested into the enlargement of production capacities, wafers and components in silicon carbide. There are people out there who say that's not enough. You have to invest another $30 billion until the end of this decade to fulfill the demand. Do you agree with this, or do you say it's still not enough?
No, I think the investment cycle that we are in is really supporting the growth we are expecting. What's happening, and which is really the key heart of the semiconductor business, is that when you are putting a new device or a new technology in production, it's expensive at the beginning, but then you are making more volumes, the price are decreasing, and so you are making more volumes because of the price decrease, and so on and so on. And we are entering this cycle with silicon carbide. It was really expensive 10 years ago. It's starting to be good enough for the applications, and because the volumes are increasing, the price will be decreasing. So we can expect further growth in the next 5 to 10 years, and yes, more investment will be needed to support that growth.
So China, a few years ago it was, okay, silicon carbide from China, who knows, but now we see that they are putting silicon carbide wafers to the market, so different Chinese manufacturers. When do you expect silicon carbide components from real Chinese manufacturers? Within this decade or later?
Well, if you're looking at the time spent by the Chinese silicon carbide wafer manufacturers, it took them 10 years to be on the market with good products. The device maker in China developing silicon carbide started 3-4 years ago, and we're expecting 5 more years of developments to reach volume production. So something could certainly happen in volume production 2028, 2029, really in the next 5 to 7 years from now. So yes, it will happen, but it takes time. It takes time to reach that kind of level.
Even with the support of the Chinese government, because they are pushing them and say, okay, if you are producing, for example, electric cars in China, they push the manufacturers to use Chinese batteries, Chinese semiconductors, Chinese even power semiconductors. Don't you think that this will give them a bigger push?
So yes, but what's happening, if you look at what happens in the past with photovoltaic, with Sapphire, the Chinese government pushed a lot the investment, and at that time you were able to buy equipment with the recipe to make the photovoltaic panel and the Sapphire wafer. So you were buying the equipment, and at the end of the day, you get a yield very rapidly in few months. Silicon carbide is totally different. When you are buying the equipment, you need to learn the recipe by yourself. and it's years and years and years of development. So yes, the investment is here. Yes, the companies are developing that, but they are all entering a learning cycle that they have to do everything from scratch. So yes, it will happen. Yes, the government is pushing, but yes, time is needed in order to reach the right level of quality in order to enter volume manufacturing.
Compared to silicon carbide, GaN is still a niche market. But now there are the first applications also in automotive. Do you think that the applications in automotive gives them a big push so that there will be a harder competition between silicon carbide and GaN beyond 900 volt? Or do you think, no, it's still a different world of silicon carbide and GaN, even if with bigger applications in automotive?
I think at the moment they are not really targeting the same applications. GaN is more adapted for 600 volts and below compared to silicon carbide, which is really adapted from 600 volts and above. But things will change in the future. So the evolution to 800 volts battery in cars are pushing silicon carbide to higher voltage, which is exactly where silicon carbide is excelling. And that means there is room for gallium nitride to move to the 600 volts and a little bit above 900 volts and provide their fast switching capabilities, provide their key added value. So we see application of gallium nitride in electric vehicles, but for more onboard charger, DC-DC converter, compared to the main inverter that will stay on silicon carbide. So it's really a partitioning of the market compared to direct competition.
Mr. Eloy, thank you very much.
Thank you.